Casey's Audio Vault.
Raine and Steve from Our Lady Peace.
April 30th, 2010. Our Lady Peace playing Burton Cummings Theatre tonight and tomorrow night, and we have the boys in studio.
Hello, man.
Jeremy dropped by the morning show this morning.
Hello.
He was saying that you guys had bumped into Wheeler on the golf course.
Yes, we did.
Does it get a little competitive out there between the members of Our Lady Peace?
Just a little.
Yes, it does.
Okay, who owes who money?
Jeremy did not have a great day that day. No.
Oh, that day, that's right. It was.
He
a little
basically
rough.
bought me an iPad.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The equivalent of an iPad? Do you have an iPad already?
Not yet.
Yeah.
Will soon, though.
Are there many activities that you guys can do as a band, like golfing?
No, you know what? It's a weird thing. It's the only time I don't think about music. Everything, no matter what else I do, for some reason out there, maybe because it's just such a frustrating game, I don't think about music for 4 hours. So I dig that.
I never thought about that, but it's the same thing with me. It's probably the only time.
Don't think about
I'm
music.
so wrapped up in it,
Yep.
and I'll get so pissed doing
Yeah,
it sometimes
I know.
that then almost I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Where are we at? And we have a gig tonight.
I know.
That's right. It really does take you out. Yeah.
So you're doing the Clumsy album tonight, Spiritual Machines tomorrow. Is it more of a multimedia event for Saturday? Because that's quite a different album.
Well, they're
Spiritual
both.
Machines.
I think both of them are kind of like seeing two different shows. Like Clumsy, both Clumsy and Spiritual Music. The album portions of the show have a lot of video, and you're obviously playing a record front to back, so it's a different kind of vibe. Even energy-wise for us, we're really, the whole thing was to do these theaters that sound good, try to recreate these records as close as we can. So we're kind of, I won't say it's work, but we're very focused during these shows. The album portion of trying to really recreate the records, and then we take a short intermission. We come back and we play a full 75 or 90 minutes, another 15 songs or so of just kind of other songs, hit songs and things, and that's more of kind of the rock show. So I think a lot of people walking out feel like they've gotten to see two shows, which is kind of interesting.
You try to recreate it, or is there any rearranging that you do with the old stuff?
We don't play the tracks or anything like that. We don't, it's just the four of us making every sound on stage. With the exception of like Spiritual Machines, like Raine triggers a couple of the samples during songs.
Yeah, and there's also Ray Kurzweil, the guy we kind of did that record after. The guy who wrote Age of Spiritual Machines. It's a concept record based after his book. When we got to meet him, he did some speaking parts, excerpts from his book, so we play those as well. And I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but I think Spiritual Machines is a little bit more of an interesting night because that record was meant to be played front to back, whether you're listening to it or whether you're playing it as we do. It has that vibe. It just, there's a great flow because we took the time when we were making it to give it that. Clumsy's a little bit more cut up. There's obviously probably bigger hit songs on that record, but it just feels more disjointed as songs.
Steve, was it your idea to kind of do the full albums? Jeremy was saying that you were inspired by seeing Devo do an entire album.
It wasn't my idea, but it was something that kind of brought up the. We had talked about it before, like possibly, we talked about, hey, 1 year around the holidays, it'd be fun to do a week straight in Toronto, do a different album each night, kind of thing. We had heard Cheap Trick did that in Chicago before, for a few nights, and we had talked about it. But when the basic thing was when we started talking about doing this Canadian tour for our new record, Burn Burn, we just wanted to do something different. So we were talking about why don't we try to go to some of the more out of the way cities than we usually go to, just not all just the major ones. And we said, why don't we, what if we do theaters instead of the big like arenas and stuff? And then with the idea of trying to do something different than what we'd done before, this whole idea came up. And I think I had recently said that I had seen Devo and how much I enjoyed it. They did, a different record, one record one night, another record the other night. And we all just got really excited while we were talking about it. And so that's always a good sign. And we kind of said, let's just do this. And we threw it at our manager, and he said, this is probably going to be impossible. And we said, all right, that's cool. Make it work.
He said, who cares? Do it.
Was it fun or difficult getting back into the lesser played tunes? Because I guess
it's work. It was definitely, it was work. There were songs we've never played live before, pretty much. So, there's something to be said for going back to deeper tracks in your career, and especially for me as a vocalist. There's things that you just forget you do because I don't sing like that all the time, and half Spiritual Machines is like falsetto singing. So it's just I guess it's like looking at old photographs, So for us, there's a lot of great memories and a lot of, I think, things that we probably wouldn't have thought about when we go to make another record. Now, some of those sounds and just the energy around Spiritual Machines and Clumsy, I think they're going to make their way into the next record in a really positive way.
Has this tour and the album kind of given Our Lady Peace a shot in the arm? You had about 4 years off between the last two. And from what I'm reading, you guys are already writing the next one. Are we going to see a new Our Lady Peace at the end of this year?
I think making this newest record was probably the biggest shot in the arm. We just really went about, there's no right or wrong way to make a record, but the way we wrote and recorded this record was definitely a completely new way of working for us. I think that was probably the biggest shot in the arm.
You know what we realized, and it probably took a long time for us, and we're probably just dumb and slow learners, but we're really at our best when it's just the four of us trusting our own instincts. You know, it's great to have outside producers and different people, managers and whoever, you know, giving their expert opinion sometimes, but I think we're truly at our best when it's just the four of us making decisions, whether it's creatively, artistically, music-wise, any of those things. That's how we operate. And this record and, you know, getting back ownership of everything for us has been a big deal. And I guess you're right. That's the biggest shot in the arm. And you know, I think we're just lucky that we finally realized it.
For this next one, you'd like to do it the same way as you did Burn Burn,
Yeah,
kind of in your studio?
I think we're just kind of touching on that aspect of what we're good at. And playing-wise, it's, you know, I think we're all at the level now as musicians where if we hear something, we can play it and we can make a record sound good, kind of recorded basically live. And that's, you know, we want everything to really translate well to the stage, not have to be, you know, something that, you know, well, you know, the song sounds good on the record, but it doesn't work live. We're really not on that page anymore.
It's amazing how little work we had to put in bringing songs from Burn Burn to the stage live compared to like working up songs from Spiritual Machines or Clumsy. It was like there were a lot of songs.
Different level now.
Like you asked, is there any rearranging we had to do? You asked earlier. And yeah, there was some times on like some songs on Spiritual Machines, especially where it was like kind of scratching our heads going, well, we got to make these three parts kind of.
Even on Gravity and Healthy and Part, you know, Bob Rock's the kind of guy who just keeps adding and adding stuff. Yeah, it sounds amazing when you're sitting in the studio listening to it, and then all of a sudden you start rehearsals to go out on tour, and it's just some of that stuff you can't you know, we'd have to hire like 4 other guys. We did for a while. We had another guitar player who also played keyboards just to help fill out and make those songs sound as true to life as possible, but we've streamlined and simplified everything.
Who's the Katy Perry fan? Sorry, I have to ask.
Oh, on the computer there. That would be Philly for the morning show.
Okay, I just happened to bump the mouse here, and all of a sudden I have a very
naked Katy Perry pictures.
Very provocative, seductive photo of Katy Perry.
I'm going to have to walk over there. With doing a couple shows in most of the cities on this tour, did you get a little bit more of a chance to investigate, spend some more time in the cities?
We do, actually. It's kind of, you know, it's a weird thing because when you know, we toured the U.S. for 4 or 5 months, and we probably did like 70 shows. And then when we talked about this in Canada, we're only doing like 16 cities, but it takes forever because we're doing 2 cities every night. But it's kind of been, yeah. I mean, I've never spent this much time in Winnipeg. We've been here. This is our 3rd day here, and even just driving around today, you know, it's kind of a nice thing to see different parts that you never really get to when it's just in the morning, play show, back on your bus out that night.
Yeah, we're kind of taking a day off every 2 shows too because these shows are pretty taxing. It's the longest we've ever been on stage total in one night.
It's like 2.5 hours of music. It's a lot.
I guess in Winnipeg you've got a little bit of time for family and stuff, so you're not total exploring.
Well, yeah, I mean, but even then, you know, I usually don't. It's kind of rushed to do that, you know, and it's like, you know, you see someone like before the show or after the show. Last night was nice. We had a night off. I went out for dinner. Bellissimo's, that's the place, you know.
So,
yeah, it was great.
And what's next? Where's the next double show?
We got Calgary and Edmonton, 1 show only in Saskatoon, and then 3 shows in Vancouver.
Regina as well. We got
Regina.
1 show in Regina.
Victoria.
And Nanaimo.
Yeah.
Actually going to Nanaimo.
Yeah. It's been probably the best tour we've ever done.
Well, we're all looking forward to it tonight. Getting the full Clumsy album, and it's Our Lady Peace at Burton Cummings Theatre, and tomorrow, Spiritual Machines. We're going to hand out some tickets to that show right now. 780 Rock Pound 975 MTS Mobility. Our Lady Peace, thanks guys for coming by.
Our pleasure, man.
Thank you, man.
All the interviews you want on iTunes and at Power97.com. Casey's Audio Vault.
Casey Norman is Power 97's music director and can be heard every weekday from 2 till 6 in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada.
Power 97 is Winnipeg's best rock.